The man was horrified to see the road sign outside the bus said Huangquan Road. The other passengers on Huangquan Road all cursed him for being a jinx, but only the man knew. This was the road that led straight to the underworld. Before he could explain to anyone, a car suddenly came speeding from the wrong direction. In the blink of an eye, the two vehicles collided. The bus flipped over on the spot and exploded moments later. No one on board survived. Strangely, the man woke up again. Still in shock, he thought it was all just a nightmare, until he saw that same sign saying Huangquan Road reappear, and everyone's reactions were exactly the same as before the crash. Even the things they were holding and doing were identical. That's when the man realized none of this was a dream. The others all thought he had gone mad, but the man no longer cared what anyone thought. He just wanted to stop the crash from happening. With only 5 minutes left until 4:44, he was growing more and more anxious. But if he told them now a crash was coming, no one would believe him. Just then his daughter gently asked if he was feeling sick. The man had a sudden idea and pretended to have a heart attack right there. The passengers panicked thinking he was in danger and told the driver to take him to the hospital immediately. The driver agreed. The man thought the crisis had been avoided, but the driver said it would take 15 minutes to reach the nearest hospital in New York. The man told him they couldn't go there. The others realized he was faking it and began scolding him for causing a scene. The man then told them he had been reincarnated and was reliving this moment, which only made everyone more certain he was insane. Seeing no one believed him, he described in detail the crash that was about to happen, but the passengers ignored him completely. The driver confidently stated that with 20 years of driving experience nothing could go wrong. The man kept pleading for them to stop for just a few minutes and wait until after 4:44 to drive again. Even if he was wrong, no one would lose anything. But no matter how much he begged, no one listened. Even his wife was losing patience. In desperation, the man lunged at the steering wheel. The passengers cursed him and rushed up to pull him away. He struggled to look at the time, and realizing the crash was near, he quickly pulled out a small knife and threatened the driver to stop immediately. Seeing how serious he was, the driver had no choice but to brake at once, just in time. But there was no truck in front of them like the man remembered, which meant the crash was still fated to happen. As the moment drew closer, the man stopped trying to convince anyone. He turned to get his family off the bus, but as he stepped out, an angry passenger kicked him off the bus and ordered the driver to drive away. His young daughter cried out for him through the window. The man shouted for them to stop, but the bus quickly pulled away because the man had disrupted their plans. His wife's brother flew into a rage and began hitting him. The entire family was furious, but the man kept staring at the clock. As the time approached, he ran after the bus. Suddenly one of the passengers' wives realized everything the man said was actually true. She shouted for the driver to stop the bus, but it was already too late. The crash happened exactly as the man had described. The daughter died instantly. The family finally understood he had been telling the truth, but it was far too late. Everyone was overwhelmed with guilt and hated themselves for not listening sooner. Just then a ragged old beggar walked up and calmly said, "Death is fate and no one can escape it." The man quickly asked him what he meant, but the old beggar just stared at the survivors, his face grim and silent, because he knew the real game had only just begun. Sure enough, when the man returned home, he was haunted by